What if a simple TV show could inspire a war machine that can change the course of history? Sounds far-fetched, right? But that's exactly how the Ripsaw M5 was born. A mix of Hollywood creativity and military engineering, this combat machine is now being hailed as a game-changer on the battlefield. But what exactly makes it so special? And how does it measure up against the tanks of the world's most powerful nations? Join us as we explore how this US tank will change everything, from Hollywood to battlefield. When The Fate of the Furious was released in 2017, it wasn't just the cast that grabbed everyone's attention. No, what had everyone talking was a particular tank. It was called the Ripsaw, and it stole the show. The Ripsaw wasn't some Hollywood creation, made up with computer-generated imagery or built from flimsy prop materials. This beast was the real deal, engineered in Waterboro, Maine, by defense contractor Howe & Howe. And it didn't just make its mark in the movies. In January 2020, the United States Army chose the Ripsaw M5 as the winner of its Robotic Combat Vehicle Program competition. That same year, the Army awarded a contract to Textron Systems, which had since acquired Howe & Howe, to test out the Ripsaw as part of its Robotic Combat Vehicle Program. So, what made this vehicle so special? Well, forget those slow tanks from old war films. The Ripsaw M5 is the future of combat, and it's electric. This isn't just another tank, it's a whole new breed. Faster, quiet, and deadlier than anything else out there. Picture a vehicle so smart it doesn't even need a driver, effortlessly moving through obstacles, hitting speeds that would make your head spin. It's what happens when cutting-edge military tech collides with excellent engineering. The M5 is like something straight out of a video game, except it is very real. Now, here is a bit of history. The Ripsaw started as a passion project, a labor of love built by twin brothers Michael and Jeffrey "Jeff" Howe back in the year 2000. By 2001, they rolled their mechanical beast into a Dallas car show, probably expecting a few raised eyebrows and maybe a dropped jaw or two. What they didn't expect was to catch the eye of the United States Army. But when you build a vehicle that can conquer just about any terrain, people notice. By the end of that year, the Army had a Ripsaw prototype shipped out to Iraq. Now, the Ripsaw isn't just fast and powerful, it's smart too. This machine can escort convoys through hostile territory, protect bases, and even disarm bombs with incredible precision. The Ripsaw is built to handle whatever challenges come its way, making it the ultimate tool for modern combat. Inside the Ripsaw M5's design, the Ripsaw M5 isn't what you would picture when you think of a tank. Weighing in at just 10.5 tons, it's shockingly light, about 3 times lighter than the clunky Bradley. Because of this, moving the Ripsaw M5 around isn't a hassle. Whether by air, sea, or land, it's easy to transport. But what really makes the Ripsaw M5 special isn't just its weight, it's how flexible it is. Think of it like a Swiss Army knife for the battlefield. Its modular design with an open and flat architecture means you can swap out parts and equipment to suit whatever mission comes up. So, whether it's a quick recon mission or a heavy firefight, the M5 is ready to change its game. At first glance, the M5 might seem sleek, maybe even a bit understated, but don't let that fool you. Sitting on top is the Kongsberg MCT-30 protector turret, the same one you would find on a Stryker Dragoon. This isn't just any turret, it's armed with a 30mm Mk-44 Bushmaster II autocannon. This cannon has already made its mark on the Stryker Dragoon, the AC-130U Spooky gunship, and even Zumwalt-class destroyers. When it fires, it is deadly, especially against soft targets like hidden soldiers or supply trucks. Even armored vehicles like the Russian BMP-3 can't withstand its might. But what if the mission calls for something more? That's where the M5's versatility shines again. While the Mk-44 might not be enough to take down a full-on tank, the M5 can easily be outfitted with a Crows-J missile launcher. This launcher can fire Javelin anti-tank missiles, capable of piercing through some of the toughest armor out there. And that's not all. The M5 can also be armed with a medium-caliber cannon, or even anti-aircraft missiles if the situation calls for it. Spotting and targeting enemies isn't a problem either. The Crows system comes with everything needed for precision. This includes daytime video cameras, thermal imaging, and a laser rangefinder. It doesn't matter if it's day or night, the M5 can see and hit what it needs to. The FLIR gimbal adds even more to its capabilities, with high-definition zoom lenses that help track moving targets with ease. The M5 isn't just about attacking, though. It's also built to clear the way. Whether it's pushing through mines, blasting away IEDs, or breaking down obstacles, nothing stands in its way. And when the night falls or the weather takes a turn, the M5's high-intensity lights pierce through the darkness, ensuring that the path ahead is always visible and clear. The tank that moves like a ghost and sees everything. The Ripsaw M5 is more than just a combat machine. It's crafted for stealth and reconnaissance, the kind where silence is golden. It has the ability to glide through the landscape, almost ghost-like. This is all thanks to an electric motor that barely makes a sound. This motor doesn't just make the vehicle noiseless, it also lowers its thermal footprint, making it a phantom in the eyes of enemy sensors. And unlike the grumbling diesel engines, this one delivers a smooth, high torque while keeping maintenance a breeze. This powertrain also enables the M5 to travel through all kinds of terrain, whether it's the burning sands of a desert, the icy expanse of snow, rugged hills, or uneven ground. The suspension system, supported by a rubberized D-shaped tank track, 2 sprocket wheels, 3 return rollers, and 5 road wheels, ensures that the M5's weight is evenly distributed, allowing it to carry heavy payloads without compromising mobility. The 2 sprocket wheels drive the movement of the track tread, ensuring that the M5 moves smoothly, no matter the terrain beneath it. Perched on top of the M5 is a surveillance turret, an all-seeing eye that never blinks. This turret is equipped with electro-optical cameras, think of them as regular eyes, and infrared night vision cameras that pierce through the dark. It sees in every direction, a full 360 degrees, ensuring nothing escapes its watchful gaze. But the M5's secrets don't end there. Hidden within its armored body are 2 drones, ready to take flight. The R-80D Skyraider, a nimble quadcopter, springs from a compartment at the back, soaring up to 31 miles an hour. It can stay aloft for nearly an hour, carrying a payload of up to 4.4 pounds as it scouts the skies. What makes the Skyraider truly versatile is its dual mode of operation. When tethered, it becomes a sentinel, holding its position for long periods and providing continuous surveillance over a specific area. But when the mission calls for more aggressive action, the Skyraider can be untethered and free to pursue targets deeper within enemy territory. Whether it's maintaining a watchful gaze or striking from above, the Skyraider ensures that nothing escapes its scrutiny. Down on the ground, the M5 has another companion, the SUGV, an unmanned ground vehicle with a mind of its own. The SUGV can slip out and explore the terrain, equipped with its own surveillance turret that rises and falls, allowing it to peek over obstacles like a curious animal. With its robotic arm, it can manipulate objects with precision, and it is even agile enough to climb stairs. This means the M5 crew can scout inside buildings, creep through hallways and rooms, and see what lies ahead without ever exposing themselves. And then, there is the TacFleer 280 HD gimbal, a piece of technology that feels almost like magic in the field. With its built-in artificial intelligence, it allows operators to identify threats from a distance far beyond what even the tethered Skyraider can offer. Tailored for mobility, the TacFleer 280 HD combines high-definition imaging with powerful optics and an inertial navigation system, bringing every detail into sharp focus. From long-range vehicle detection to pinpointing potential dangers, it doesn't miss a thing, making sure that the crew is always one step ahead of whatever might be lurking in the distance. Beyond stealth. If you think the M5 is just about stealth and firepower, you'd be mistaken. This vehicle is built for tactical mobility. The Ripsaw M5 can race across the landscape and be in constant communication with other robotic combat vehicles, manned tanks, drones, and command centers. By doing so, it shares intelligence and coordinates actions in real time. Its onboard sensors and smart algorithms don't just observe, they analyze, identify, and classify objects, and make split-second decisions on whether to engage or avoid them. Now imagine teaming the M5 with a M2A3 Bradley infantry fighting vehicle. The M5, with no crew to worry about, could take the lead, moving ahead as the Bradley follows. As it advances, the M5 scouts for danger, detecting and triggering any hidden mines or IEDs, ensuring the Bradley's path is clear. Once they reach the front lines, the M5 can become the eyes and ears, watching the enemy, while the Bradley maneuvers quietly into a position to strike from the side, catching the enemy off guard. And if the fight turns against them, the M5 stays behind, laying down covering fire, giving the Bradley and its human crew the precious seconds they need to retreat safely. How the Ripsaw M5 outpaces traditional tanks. Tanks are often seen as slow giants. This is due to immense firepower and thick armor. After all, 70 tons of solid steel and depleted uranium don't exactly lend themselves to speed. But the Ripsaw M5 is a different machine altogether. It defies expectations, moving with a swiftness that feels almost unnatural. The M5 can hit a top speed of 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. Yeah, you heard that right. This is fast enough to outmaneuver threats or chase down fleeing targets. Well, this kind of agility isn't just about speed, it's about responsiveness, the ability to change course without delay or dart out of danger. It is speed with a purpose that turns the M5 into a predator on the battlefield, making it always one step ahead and always ready to strike. What's even more surprising is that the M5 manages this speed without shaking its occupants to pieces. Its air suspension smooths out the ride, making rapid movement not just possible, but almost comfortable. And then there's the SSR-1 Super Sand Rail, a newer version of the Ripsaw. With a supercharged 772 cubic inch big block engine under its hood, this beast churns out 1,500 horsepower, pushing the limits even further. It's capable of tearing across the ground at over 100 miles per hour. For a machine designed for combat, this kind of speed changes the game entirely, turning the Ripsaw into something more than just a tank. The test of the Ripsaw M5's capabilities. Back in 2021, the United States Army took a bold step forward with its prototype of a 30mm cannon-armed Ripsaw M5 unmanned mini-tanks. They set out to carry out the first live-fire test, where the M5's potential was put on display. This was about showing what the future of warfare could look like. The Army demonstrated something even more intriguing, the ability to control the M5 from a distance, using a control station installed inside a modified Bradley fighting vehicle. This test showed the possibility of using the M5 as a loyal wingman that can work alongside manned vehicles on the battlefield. The Army has been looking into this idea as part of a broader plan to use more unmanned ground vehicles in future missions. The live fire test was the result of collaboration between experts from the Army's Combat Capabilities Development Command, including the Armament Center at Picatinny Arsenal in New Jersey and the Ground Vehicle Systems Center at the Detroit Arsenal in Michigan. Contractors from Booz Allen Hamilton also played a crucial role in bringing this demonstration to life. Until this point, the M5 had been confined to the lab, its potential still theoretical. An engineer from the Remote Weapons Branch at the Armament Center explained that they were particularly focused on integrating a turret onto the M5's platform. The turret in question was called the Protector RT-40 Remote Weapon Station and was supplied by the Norwegian defense contractor Kongsberg. This turret is equipped with a 30mm XM813 automatic cannon as its main armament, with a coaxially mounted 7.6 2x51mm M240 machine gun alongside it. For added protection, launchers for smoke grenades were mounted on either side, ready to create a smokescreen if needed. The Army knew that making this relatively large turret work seamlessly with the M5 was crucial to realizing their vision. They had set high expectations, aiming for the unmanned vehicle to have enough firepower to defeat Tier 1 threats. This is a category that includes heavily armed vehicles with medium-caliber guns, large recoilless rifles, or multiple anti-tank guided missiles. Even though the test was mainly about the M5 and its weapons, it also showed how the Army might use a fleet of these vehicles in the future. Operators fired the weapons on the unmanned mini-tank remotely, using a control station installed inside a Mission Enabling Technologies Demonstrator (METD) vehicle. The METD, a modified Bradley fighting vehicle, is more than just a mobile control center. It is designed to manage and direct unmanned ground vehicles. In previous tests, Army personnel inside the METD successfully controlled two other unmanned vehicles, modified M113 armored personnel carriers, demonstrating how these machines could work together as a single team. The METD itself comes with advanced communication systems and cameras all around to give soldiers a clear view of what's happening, which keeps them in control, even in tough situations. Ripsaw M5 versus Global Titans. To truly appreciate the Ripsaw M5's capabilities, we need to compare it to other tanks, especially some of the world's most advanced ones. Take Russia's T-90M Breakthrough, for instance. According to Vladimir Putin, it's supposed to be the best tank in the world. It has all the fancy gear, like a 125mm gun with stabilization, a ballistic computer, and some seriously tough armor with explosive layers to protect it. In addition to this, it is loaded with the latest tech, including panoramic sights, thermal imaging, and encrypted digital communications. But here's the thing. While the T-90M might look great on paper, it has a pretty major flaw when it is out in the field. You see, if the tank takes even a little bit of damage, the turret starts spinning uncontrollably, making it impossible for the crew to aim or fight back. Just take a moment to imagine being in the middle of a battle, and your tank's turret keeps spinning in circles. That's not exactly the kind of situation you would want yourself in when under fire. This problem has led to some embarrassing moments for the T-90M. In fact, there have been plenty of cases where these tanks were either destroyed or abandoned because the turret wouldn't stop spinning. One famous example involved a duel between a T-90M and two Ukrainian M2 Bradleys. The Bradleys fired at the T-90M with 25mm 75mm cannons, a move that should have been hopeless since the T-90M armor is supposed to withstand small-caliber fire. But after a few hits, the turret started spinning in a clockwise direction. The Russians had no chance of firing back accurately. Their tank was just a sitting duck. The turret kept spinning until the gun barrel hit a tree, which finally stopped it. Later, a drone finished the job and destroyed the tank. There are several other real-life examples in which the turret begins to rotate clockwise after the tank takes damage in battle. This spinning turret issue doesn't seem to affect other Russian tanks. So what's going on with the T-90M? There are a few theories floating around. One idea is that when the tank takes minor hits, they might actually be getting through the turret and injuring a crew member. If that person slumps forward onto the controls, it could cause the turret to spin. But here is the thing. In all the cases of the turret spinning, all crew members have been seen getting out of the tanks afterward, and they look fine. So it's hard to believe someone was injured or killed. Another theory is that the problem lies with the fire control system. Like other modern tanks, the T-90M's gun automatically aims and keeps the turret locked on a target. If the optics get damaged, it could send a false signal, causing the turret to spin out of control. A third idea is that it might be related to the tank's defensive systems. The T-90M has a laser warning receiver that alerts the crew when the tank is being targeted by a laser. The system automatically moves the turret to face the threat and fires off special flares to confuse the laser guidance. If the sensors get damaged, they might send a false signal, leading to the turret spinning. So, what would happen if the T-90M went up against the Ripsaw M5? Given all the T-90M's issues, it's not hard to imagine how that fight would go down. The Ripsaw M5, with its speed and technology, would likely have the upper hand. It's hard to see the T-90M standing much of a chance if its turret starts spinning wildly while the Ripsaw closes in. Now, let's shift our focus from Russia's T-90M to China's top tank, the Type 99, also known as the ZTZ-99. This is China's most advanced tank. It is packed with modern armor, enhanced fire control systems, advanced communication features, and a very powerful gun. One thing that really sets the Type 99 apart is its active laser protection system. This extremely powerful laser can mess with incoming missiles and disrupt laser or infrared signals. Not only that, it can damage the eyesight of enemy gunners. Imagine being in a tank, aiming at your target, and suddenly your optics go haywire or your vision gets messed up. That's what this system can do, and it could be a real headache for the Ripsaw M5. The Type 90 main gun and autoloader are based on Soviet and Russian designs, which have been battle-tested over the years. The tank's autoloader can fire about 8 rounds per minute. It can shoot a variety of munitions, which includes high-explosive anti-tank rounds, fragmentation rounds, and sabot rounds. As if that isn't enough, it carries Russian-designed AT-11 Snipe B missiles that can be launched directly from the gun, and this also makes it even more dangerous. Now, all of this might sound like bad news for the Ripsaw M5, because when you think about it, the Type 99 advanced systems and powerful weapons could definitely pose a challenge. But the Ripsaw M5 isn't just any tank. It is designed to be fast and adaptable, with the ability to outrun its enemies. And while the Type 99 is definitely a formidable opponent, the Ripsaw has its own strengths that could make it a tough opponent. In a battle, it wouldn't just come down to who had the biggest gun or the strongest armor. It would be about who can use their strengths to outthink and outsmart the other. How the Ripsaw M5 is shaping tomorrow's warfare. At the moment, the United States Army's plan is pretty straightforward. Keep humans in control of the Ripsaw M5s, but they are not stopping there. There is a bigger idea at play, a future where these vehicles could take on more autonomous roles, gradually easing humans out of direct danger. This is a fascinating thought, isn't it? As the Army begins to integrate these unmanned ground vehicles into their regular training routines, it's only going to get better. The more they train, the more they can fine-tune how they want to use these machines in real combat situations. It's like practicing with a new tool until you figure out all the tricks to get the most out of it. Now, if you have been paying attention to the war in Ukraine, you might have probably noticed how traditional tanks are having a really hard time on the modern battlefield. It's a new world out there, and small, cheap, but deadly drones have made it pretty risky to send big, heavy tanks into battle. So, what's the alternative? Sometimes it's better to have a small, nimble tank like the Ripsaw, which can zip in and out of close combat before the enemy knows what hit them. The Ripsaw's speed and ability to handle rough terrain make it a very tempting option, especially for those with the budget to support advanced defense technologies. But this is where things get even more interesting. Imagine making the Ripsaw even safer for the soldiers who operate it by taking them out of the battlefield entirely. That's exactly what How, working with Textron Systems, is trying to do. They are building a robotic version of the Ripsaw that can carry out missions from a distance. This will be controlled remotely by soldiers who are far from the front lines. Well, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but the Ripsaw M5 is a very real real and practical solution that could seriously change the way wars are fought in the 21st century. This move isn't meant to replace human soldiers. It's about making them stronger and safer. Think of it not as a weapon of mass destruction, but as a weapon of mass innovation. The Ripsaw M5 is showing us what the future of warfare might look like. And guess what? That future is already here, unfolding right before our eyes. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.